Go to the toilet now and see your pee color, then come back and tell me what color you have right now, because it can be a dangerous clue for your kidneys failing to work properly. Most people think a glance at the color is enough, but some dangerous signs are hiding in your bathroom habits that go way beyond just yellow or clear. If you notice things like strange bubbles or a sudden change in how often you need to go, your body is trying to tell you something very important. And I'm going to help you decode what is actually happening inside your body every time you use the bathroom. Important! Listen, I need you to be honest with yourself for a second. When was the last time you actually looked into the toilet before flushing? Most of us just want to get in and out of there, but that habit is actually pretty dangerous. See, and your kidneys are the most humble, quiet workers in your entire body. They don't scream when they're hurting. If you break a leg, you feel it instantly. If your heart is struggling, you usually get that tight chest or shortness of breath. But kidneys, they have almost zero pain receptors within the actual filtering tissue. This means you could literally lose 60% or even 70% of your kidney function and feel completely fine. You'd go about your day, drinking your coffee and working, while your internal filtration system is basically falling apart in silence. It's the ultimate silent killer because it waits until the very last minute to give you a sign that something is wrong. Think about the sheer scale of the work they do. Every single day, these two fist-sized organs process about 200 quarts of blood. And that is a massive amount of liquid flowing through a very delicate system just to sift out 2 tiny quarts of waste and extra water. Because they don't use pain to talk to you, they use your output instead. Your bathroom habits are essentially the dipstick for your body's engine. Just like you check the oil in a car to see if the engine is burning up, you have to check what's landing in the toilet to see if your filters are clogging or leaking. If you wait until you feel sick or tired, it might be too late to fix the damage. You have to start paying attention to the clues right now, starting with the very next time you go. The foam factor. Now, I want you to really focus on the texture of your urine, not just the color. We've all seen a few bubbles in the toilet bowl because of a forceful stream hitting the water. But there is a massive difference between those normal splash bubbles and what doctors call true proteinuria. If you see foam that looks like the thick head on a glass of beer or like you've whisked up egg whites, you need to pay attention. Normal bubbles are large, clear, and they pop almost as soon as they hit the air. But if that foam stays there, lingering for minutes or even surviving a flush, your kidneys are likely leaking something they should be keeping. Inside your kidneys, you have these incredible little structures called podocytes. Think of them as tiny, foot-like cells that wrap around your blood vessels to create a microscopic mesh. In a healthy body, this mesh is so fine and so tight that big, important molecules like albumin, which is a key protein in your blood, simply cannot fit through. And it's like a coffee filter that keeps the grounds out of your cup. But when your kidneys get stressed or damaged by things like high blood pressure or sugar, those podocyte feet start to pull away or break down. Suddenly, the holes in your filter get too big, and that heavy protein starts slipping through into your urine. When that protein hits the water in the toilet, it creates a chemical reaction. Protein is a surfactant, which is a fancy way of saying it lowers the surface tension of the liquid and allows air to get trapped in those thick, tiny, persistent bubbles. This isn't just a minor oops from your body. It's often the very first clinical sign of glomerular disease. It means the actual machinery of your filtration system is physically breaking. If you're seeing that beer head foam every time you go, your body is essentially crying out that its most important barrier has been breached. You aren't just losing waste, you are losing the very building blocks of your blood. And that is a major red flag that you cannot afford to ignore for another day. Frequency and nocturia. You might think you're just getting older, or maybe you're just a light sleeper because you find yourself staring at the bathroom tiles 3 times every night. But stop for a second and ask yourself why your body is suddenly demanding a bathroom break at 3 a.m. when it used to stay silent until sunrise. This isn't just an annoying bladder quirk. It's actually a sophisticated failure of your kidney's concentration gear. You see, a healthy kidney is a master of timing. Under normal conditions, your brain releases a specific chemical called antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, the moment you fall asleep. This hormone is like a stop sign for your kidneys. It tells them to concentrate your urine into a dark, small amount so your sleep remains uninterrupted. It's the reason you don't usually wake up soaked or thirsty in the middle of the night. However, when kidney tissue is under fire, those filters become tone deaf to ADH. They simply stop listening. This physiological breakdown leads to a stage called polyuria. Because the kidneys can no longer pull water back into your bloodstream effectively, they just let it all leak through. They are essentially dumping everything out because they've lost the strength to hold on to the good stuff. It's like a dam that has developed 1,000 tiny cracks. The water just keeps flowing regardless of what the hormone operator says. If you are waking up 2, 3, or even 4 times a night, your kidneys are likely stuck in this high-volume, low-efficiency cycle. It's the ultimate irony of kidney stress. In the early stages, you actually pee way too much because the concentration mechanism is broken. Later on, if the damage reaches a critical point, you might hit the oliguria phase, where you barely pee at all because the filters have completely shut down. But that middle ground, that constant nighttime wandering, is the specific red flag people miss. They blame the prostate, they blame the water they drank at dinner, or they blame their age. In reality, your kidneys are losing their ability to squeeze waste into a small package, and they're using your sleep time to try and catch up on a job they can no longer do efficiently, the ammonia mystery look. I'm not talking about the usual smell after a cup of coffee or a bunch of asparagus. I'm talking about a deep, heavy, chemical stench that smells exactly like a bottle of industrial-grade ammonia or stale fish. This is a massive check engine light for your blood chemistry. Here is the deal. Your body is a protein processing machine, and the byproduct of that process is something called urea. In a perfect world, your kidneys grab that urea and toss it out of the house. But when those filters start to clog, that urea doesn't leave. It stays in your blood, hitches a ride through your entire system, and eventually starts to rot. It breaks down into ammonia right there in your veins. When you finally go to the bathroom, that built-up nitrogenous waste is so concentrated that it gases off the moment it hits the air. And it's a sign that your nitrogen cycle is completely out of whack. This is vastly different from the sweet or fruity smell you might have heard about, which usually points to high sugar or diabetic issues. That sweet smell is ketones, but the ammonia smell, that is pure waste buildup. It can even get so bad that it starts coming out in your breath, a symptom doctors call uremic fetor. It's a metallic, bitter taste in your mouth that matches the chemical odor in the toilet. If you're noticing this, your kidneys are essentially struggling to keep your blood from becoming toxic. You aren't just smelling a change in your diet, you are smelling the physical evidence of your kidneys failing to detoxify your internal environment. It is a gritty, unmistakable signal that your urea levels have crossed a dangerous line, and your urinary tract is now the only escape path for gases that should have been filtered out hours or even days ago. Sediment and clarity. Imagine you're looking at a glass of crisp, clear apple juice versus a jar of swampy, murky pond water. That's the level of difference we're talking about when your kidneys start losing their grip on the sediment in your system. A lot of people see cloudy urine and immediately think they've just got a common bladder infection, But if there's no burning or pain, you might actually be looking at crystalluria. This is a fancy way of saying your urine is literally oversaturated with minerals, like calcium oxalate. When your kidneys are too stressed to maintain the right chemical balance, these minerals start to clump together. Instead of staying dissolved in the liquid, they form tiny and gritty particles that turn your pee into a foggy mess. These aren't just debris, they are the foundational building blocks of kidney stones, and they act like sandpaper on the delicate inner lining of your filtration tubes. Then there is the color of the fog itself. Have you ever noticed your output looking a bit like iced tea or even a flat glass of cola? That is one of the most misunderstood red flags in human health. Most people assume blood in the toilet would be bright, vibrant red, but that's usually only the case for lower tract issues like the bladder. When blood leaks from the kidneys themselves, it has to travel a long way, and during that journey, it becomes oxidized. This turns the blood a dark, muddy brown. This microscopic hematuria is a direct confession from your kidneys that the physical filters are tearing. On top of that, you might have puria, which is a buildup of white blood cells. When your kidney tissue is chronically inflamed, your immune system sends in the cavalry, and those soldier cells end up being flushed out, contributing to that thick, opaque appearance. If you can't see through the stream, it's because your body is dumping a cocktail of minerals, oxidized blood, and immune waste that should have been managed properly. Your kidneys are essentially shedding their internal lining because they can no longer keep the chemistry under control. The fluid retention connection. And now let's play a quick game of body math. If you're chugging 2 liters of water throughout the day, but you're only visiting the bathroom for a few tiny, disappointing sessions, you have to ask yourself, where did all that liquid go? It didn't just vanish into thin air. If it's not leaving through the pipes, it's being forced into your walls. This is the scary reality of the output gap. Your kidneys are the primary regulators of sodium, and when they're under pressure, they start hoarding salt like a treasure. Because of the laws of physics, wherever salt goes, water follows. Instead of the water staying in your blood vessels to be filtered and peed out, it gets shoved into the interstitial tissues, the spaces between your cells. This is exactly why you might wake up with puffy eyes or find that your socks are leaving deep, red trenches around your ankles by 5 p.m. We call this pitting edema. If you can press your thumb into your shin and the dent stays there for a few seconds, like you're pressing into a piece of raw dough, that is a massive warning sign. Your internal balancing act, known as the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, or RAAS, has gone completely haywire. This system is supposed to manage your blood pressure, but when the kidneys feel threatened, they trigger RAAS to hold on to every drop of fluid to keep pressure up. It's a survival move that backfires, leading to high blood pressure and swollen limbs. You're essentially becoming a human sponge because your kidneys have lost the ability to pump the excess out. It's not just water weight, it's a systemic failure of your fluid distribution network. If the math doesn't add up at the toilet, it's because your kidneys are drowning your tissues in the overflow they were too weak to process. The hidden culprits. Let's move on to the stuff you're doing every day that you think is healthy or normal, but is actually secretly sabotaging your filtration system. Think about that bottle of ibuprofen or naproxen sitting in your medicine cabinet. Most people pop those like candy for a headache or a sore back without a second thought. But here is the cold, hard truth. Those over-the-counter NSAIDs are basically a stranglehold on your kidneys. They work by blocking certain chemicals in your body, but as a side effect, they constrict the blood vessels leading into your kidneys. You are essentially starving your filters of oxygen and nutrients every time you take them. Over time, this leads to something called analgesic nephropathy, where the kidney tissue literally starts to wither and die because it hasn't been fed enough blood. And it's a silent, self-inflicted injury that doesn't show up until the damage is serious. Then, look at your plate. We are currently living in an era obsessed with high-protein, keto-style diets. While muscle is great, your kidneys are the ones that have to pay the tax on all that steak and protein powder. When you consume massive amounts of animal protein, your body creates a heavy acid load. Your kidneys have to go into overdrive, a state called hyperfiltration, just to neutralize that acid and keep your blood pH from turning toxic. It's like forcing a car to redline its engine for hours on end. Eventually, the gaskets are going to blow. You're putting your nephrons through a marathon every single meal. If you don't balance that protein with enough hydration and alkaline veggies, you're basically asking your kidneys to perform a miracle every single day until they simply can't anymore. The action plan. So you've looked in the toilet, you've smelled the air, and you're starting to put the pieces together. What now? You don't just sit there and worry, you go get the data. When you walk into your doctor's office, you need to be your own best advocate. Don't just ask for blood work. You need to ask specifically for your eGFR, which stands for Estimated Glomerular Filtration Rate. This is the gold standard of kidney health. Think of it as a percentage score of how well your filters are actually working. If that number is below 60 for more than 3 months, you aren't just tired. You are looking at chronic kidney disease, but don't stop there. A standard dipstick p-test at the clinic is often too blunt to catch the early stuff. You need to demand a URINEACR test, the albumin to creatinine ratio. This is a precision tool that catches those microscopic protein leaks long before a regular test would even blink. In the meantime, start a bathroom diary for 1 week. Track exactly how many ounces of water you drink versus how many times you actually hit the bathroom. If you're drinking 80 ounces but only peeing twice a day, or if you're up 4 times a night, write it down. Bring that log to your GP. Having hard numbers makes it impossible for a doctor to dismiss your concerns as just aging or stress. You have the power to stop the silent killer in its tracks, but only if you stop guessing and start testing. Your kidneys are worth the extra effort. So take that first step today and get the clarity you deserve. Thanks for watching. If this deep dive helped you decode your body's signals, then press the like button and subscribe for more life-saving tips. Comment "healthy kidneys" below so I know you're taking action.